Good morning. This is Shante with mental health, and this discussion is going to be about resiliency and creativity and why it's important. So I hope you stay in tune, keep your ears and eyes open as we begin. So you need to know that you are resilient. You're able to recover from hardship and pain. Resiliency means bouncing back. Merriam-Webster means an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. That's what the definition means for resiliency. Challenge. When you see a challenge, see the opportunity, not the problem. Commitment. You need to stick it out and see it through. Control. Know what is within our ability and what is not. So those are three components that you need to know in order to be resilient, in order to bounce back. So write it as you teach it. Retain and recall the material. Speak affirmation over yourself. Ways to recover anxiety is to recall information that you have already learned. Prevent anxiety by preparing for ways to recover before this happens. Take If you take medication for mental health, um, make sure you take medication to prevent symptoms of anxiety from a psychiatrist. Make sure that's important with a psychiatrist, that you have someone to talk to, and that's going to help you in your recovery, be a part of your treatment team. Prevention means before a situation or event. Intervention means activities at the time of a situation or an event. So prevention is important because prevention keeps you from having a relapse when you put into practice what you learned. So you want to make sure you take preventative measures to maintain a healthy mind. Examples of prevention can be applying acne cover-up when your face breaks out and studying for a test. You're taking preventative measures, so you want to put on acne cover-up before you get a breakout, and you want to study for a test so you can pass it. So those are you're preventing things. You're preventing using preventative measures to make that happen. Now, examples of intervention are asking your parents for money. So you didn't save up money, so now you have to ask your parents for money. So preventative would have been saving up money because now you have a backup, now you have something in store for you. And drinking juice when you have a cold. So if you took your vitamins and you've been exercising and you've been drinking a lot of water, you're taking preventative measures from having a cold. But instead of waiting till you get a cold, that would be an intervention. So intervention would be drinking juice when you have a cold. Also practice what you learn every day. Prepare yourself, practice breathing exercises, drink plenty of water to keep hydrated, be aware of what your stressors are, read to relax, write to relax, take a nap to relax, create songs to relax. I create songs. I actually have some, well, that I write on my phone, so I have notes on my phone, and I always have songs in my mind that come up. New songs that are mine and that are original and authentic, that are true to me, and I just write them down. I write them down, and if I need to remember the melody, I'll use the voice recorder and I'll do that and just listen to it and practice it. And then when you think about it, you have a lot of songs written down. You can make like your own little album. um, So if you're interested in singing, then that's what you do. You use your creative juices that are going to help you. And it doesn't have to be singing, it could be acting, it could be writing, it could be drawing. Anything that you put your mind to, you can make happen. And it takes practice as well. But the more you practice it, it won't feel like work to you at all. So, read your notes before anxiety occurs. So, when you do your research, and some people, they want to discover, their mental health because it runs and it happens. And people are diagnosed with it, with mental health issues. And so that's why it's important to be resilient and to recognize that you are resilient and to make sure you have a plan that you're going to stick to help you recover. Practice at what you're good at. So, like I said, it could be drawing, it could be writing, it could be communicating with others, it could be art, it could be making videos, it could be anything that you put your mind to. It could be something, maybe you have a job and you want to see how other people do it. Just observe and learn and keep your eyes open on, what you want to accomplish in life. And sometimes people think, okay, well, it's going to happen overnight, or it's going to be something that's going to happen and I'm just going to be magically changed or something like that. And it's really like, look at yourself today. How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling spiritually? How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling overall? And just be aware of your feelings and what's happening and going on in your body, because you need to also make sure that you're doing well so that you can perform tasks in the future and continue to make that happen. So you want to practice goals. List prevention and intervention. And when you're feeling anxious, you can take deep breaths. That's what I do, is I take deep breaths, especially when I'm laying down and I'm asleep and I wake up. I wake up a few times throughout the night or throughout the morning, early morning, and I just have to take deep breaths like it's going to be okay. I'm going to get through this day. I'm going to conquer the day with positive things that are going to lift me up, lift my spirit up. And also, we want to make sure that you're spiritually good as well. Are you involved in church? Do you have a church leader that you can talk to? Do you have friends that you can have a fellowship with? Or have at least one person that you can talk to about God and that can help you spiritually in your walk with God. That's also important as well. Because if you have God in your life, then you're going to know that you're safe, that God loves you, that He has a plan for you, and give you hope in a better future. And your future is now. You are making the right steps and making that happen. And that's what you have to do. And you can do it, and you will do it, and you will succeed. And that's what makes it happen. So practice your goals. Have a positive attitude can help you from having anxiety. And for some people, I've heard that someone can tell them, oh, well, don't think about it. And for some people, it's like, well, how can I stop thinking about something when your mind is going running, and thinking about a million things? and you can't get a break from it. So for some people that can be a challenge, and they could do the right things and be a good person but still struggle mentally. There could have been something traumatic happened in their life, or it could be the environment they're around, or it could be something genetically passed down from someone in your family to you. And look at that as well, the components. And it could be things that have happened to you that were unexpected. And it's all about being who you are and staying true to yourself. And we may struggle, but we can get through this as a team, and that's important. So negative attitude won't change the situation. Having a pity party can lead to bad decisions, so you want to make sure you stay on positive thoughts, because if you're thinking negatively, then you're most likely apt to start doing things that are negative, or start saying things that are negative and speaking negatively. And that doesn't mean that things happen and you wanna say that it's not a fact, because if something happens, then it is a fact and it's a true statement. But it's also the way you feel about it that makes a difference. So you could see it as a positive thing or as a negative thing. But if you make it a positive thing, even despite something that other people could consider negative, then it will help you recover more quickly. And recovery isn't just a one night thing, or a 1 day thing, or a 1 week thing. It's also about recovering for your life, recovering in a period of time that you need to get going. And it could seem like that don't have any issues, and you're like, well, I'm fine and I'm good to go. And then it could be circumstances in your life that prevent certain things from happening. And so you're thinking, well, how do I get over this? Or how do I make it out of a situation, or make it into a better situation despite the circumstances? And you can. You can. It takes time, but you can. And it requires patience as well. You want to make the right steps. You don't want to just sit around and not do anything. But at times when you do have something you're struggling with, it could be you're struggling with mentally. There could be an event that's been happening and it recurs to you over and over and over again. Or it could be something that happened recently. It could be something that happened years ago. It could be something that happened weeks or months ago. It could be that you feel like you're doing okay, but then other people don't think you're doing okay. Um, and they want to make sure that you're fine before you just up and do something. And also, you want to make sure that you're on the right track, because on the right track isn't just saying you're good for 1 day and that's it. Being on the right track is a lifetime thing. And you don't want anyone to sway you into doing the wrong things, or things that don't line up to what's right and what's going to benefit you, your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. And also, if you're taking medication, that can be a side effect as well, as being so tired that it's hard for you to even get out of bed. So you might just be watching and being like, well, I don't feel like doing anything. I don't want to do anything, or you can get into that mode where you think that there's no hope, that things are just going to be the same the way it is. And just take it as that you're on vacation, that you're on a retreat, that you're on a break, that God's giving you a resting season so you won't have to do so much. But also take into consideration of God's giving you gifts for a reason, and He wants you to utilize them and to help yourself and have people that support you. Hopefully, you have at least one friend, if not me. But that's what you gotta do, and that's what you need to make happen. And having a pity party can lead to bad decisions. You might want to start doing things that you didn't think that you would do before. Or you might start saying things and things are coming out of your mouth, and then you realize, wait, why did I even say that? Or, oh, that could have gotten me into a lot of trouble. Or, oh, that could have affected someone close to me or someone that I know. So you want to make sure that you're feeding your mind with positive information. And also, you got to keep in check of what's around you, because if you're hearing negativity, that can put um, stress on you mentally. So you want to feed your spirit. If you can't find something, make a way. Listen to videos like this and continue learning more about it, about yourself. And also, you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing and that you are staying on track. Write down your goals. Write down what you think is important for you to accomplish. And make that happen. If you can't do it, all the things you want to do in one day, make little small goals that you want to do. If you want to be a songwriter, start writing songs down, or listen to other songs and get inspiration of what type of songs you want to make or what genre you want to make. Or if you want to act, start listening to acting lessons. Like if you can't pay for acting lessons or go to a theater because of transportation or money, do it online. Or write your own skits and read them out loud and memorize them and practice them in front of a mirror. Or if you can get a friend or a family member to practice with you, like have a dialogue of two characters saying it, that's practice as well. And also think about your life, like not just living it, but also seeing it as each person is another person added into God's kingdom, and ask God to give you a fresh perspective every day. Ask Him to show you how to be a leader and show you how to be a servant and show you how to look at people in a whole new way, in a positive way, and that see every opportunity as a learning experience, but also as if you're living the dream. You're living the dream now. And some people might not be as fortunate as you are. So count your blessings. Okay? There are 3 D's. There's desire, drive, and discipline. Those are 3 D's that will help you to recover. Desire means passion. Drive means personal motivation. Discipline means sacrifice, responsibility, and ownership. Resilient means to bounce back, right? So what are the 4 C's in helping you be resilient? Control. We know what is in control and what is not in our control. Challenge. See this as an opportunity. You can have so many things going on in your mind, and you're like, I have so many goals. How do I make this all happen? Write it down. Steps. Step 1, this is what I'm going to do. Step 2, this is what I'm going to do. Step 3, this is what I'm going to do. Then it's not like all in your head and you're running around thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then you're left doing nothing because you've only used your mental power but not exerted into the physical. Commitment, stick it out. So even when you have a bad day, even when you think that you're not going to be able to make the day, even if, negative thoughts come against you and you're fighting a mental battlefield, or it could be a spiritual battlefield for you. It could be with yourself, what's going on spiritually, or it could be with other people, and it could be conversations that you've heard or listened to, and you might not agree with what they're saying, or it might be something that's negative, and you want to stay away from that because you don't want to feed your mind and your spirit with negative things, because that is going to have an effect on the way you're going to think and act and behave. So, and your brain needs nourishment. It needs positive nourishment continuously. And so you want to be committed. You want to stick it out. So even when you feel like you want to give up, don't give up. And yes, I know there's times where people have jobs and they can either get laid off or they can have something happen where, transportation, or maybe their hours are getting cut, or maybe they found a better job, or maybe they had two jobs and they thought it was a good idea to have two jobs, and now they're thinking, well, how am I going to make time to have a break and relax if I'm running around from job to job and I have to get up every single day to work? Then if you do that, then you might be like, well, I want to just change it to one job and have to pick which job you want to pick. Or you could not have a job, but you can still volunteer if you feel like you have a purpose in life and you feel like you want to serve. You can find a church to get involved in and start doing activities actively, asking, what can I do to serve? What can I do to help? You can also look online for resources, a quick guide to resources in your city. So you can Google quick guide to resources in blank city that you're in. And they will pop up resources from volunteer work to housing to all sorts of things. Transportation. There's some cities where they actually have vans that come and pick you up and take you. Some of them might require you to have insurance, like Medicaid or Medicare or something like that. And some of them might have you pay a fare if you don't have it, which doesn't cost that much. But if you're not working, then you can see if maybe your neighbors can take you. Or you can see if someone at church can take you and pick you up. So you have to find things to stay committed to something. And creativity, solution, ability to brainstorm. So practice something that you are creative in and that God has given you a passion for. So for some of you, you might like speaking, or for some of you, you're more of a listener and you could be a great writer. So take notes. Get out a piece of paper, and as I'm talking, you can be writing notes so that you can pass that along to yourself and to others of what you learned and to apply it. So creativity, you can have creativity in the morning after you're dreaming and when you're asleep. Relaxing after watching a movie and inspires you and gives you insight of what you want to do in your life. Art museum. Now what drains creative energy? Controlling what's not ours, depressed, down, anxiousness, worry, low self-worth, low self-esteem. Resilient people embrace creativity. They know how to think outside the box, and when we are most creative, and we pay attention to our dreams. So, when you feel angry, some people cry, some people yell, some people storm out of a room, some people take deep breaths, some people tense up, some people feel like throwing stuff, some people walk away, some people cuss, some people are sad, some people are overwhelmed when they can't do nothing about it, some people go in the room and shut the door. With me, I take deep breaths and I direct my attention somewhere else. And I just find a reason to find a place that's quiet so I can pray and talk to God. I don't like to yell or do any of that or cuss or anything of that nature. That's how I deal with it. I don't want to be an angry person or an aggressive person or affect anyone in a negative way. So that's what I do. I walk away from the situation before it turns bad. So, but also be aware that you don't want to completely just walk out of a situation because there might be a misunderstanding or depending on the situation, like say if it was for a job, you don't want to just walk away and not talk about it. You also want to say how you feel, but in a respectful way, and then walk away. Or if you know that the person isn't understanding or doesn't like opinions or isn't going to understand what you're going through, even if you express yourself, then it's best to walk away peacefully and direct your attention somewhere else where you can have that peace in your mind. Because if you overflow it with negativity and it's going to lead into an argument, then you don't want to do that. It's not worth getting an argument. And some people have anger issues and they can say things to you out of the blue, like even if you're not saying or doing anything, and they can randomly come up to you and call you names, or they can randomly, say mean things to you, and it could be in school, it could be from someone that you know, and then it's like, well, how do you bounce back from that? So when you're struggling mentally, it's not just like you could still, someone can ask you, hi, how are you doing? You could say, okay, or I'm good. But really, there's a lot more to it than just being good. And with people that struggle mentally, they have a lot of things going on that they don't wish to talk about because depending on what they've been through, could have a hard time communicating that and might want to brush it off because they don't want it to be judged. They don't want anyone to create a stigma around them, like prevent them from doing more things, because if they tell them something that's bad or negative, some people might feed into that and be like, only think you are a sick, like, I don't mean a sick, I mean like mentally. Not sick and as a bad person, like you're a sick person, Not like that. Um, but more of you're sick, like you can't do anything. You need to just take a break and not do anything. So some people, don't want to be disqualified from certain things because of that. And so they might not tell you exactly everything that they're feeling, and it doesn't just go away for people that are struggling mentally. It doesn't go away. The thoughts are still there, the events that have happened are still there, and that's why you need something to recover from. So, just because someone's telling you good, just listen to the way they speak, listen to the way they look, how they'll talk, like if they're watching TV or when they're on the road, or how they talk about people. If they're talking negatively about someone, like calling people names or calling them stupid, or judging someone, like, or bashing people, like calling them names and derogatory things, and then you can see that that's a reflection of what's going on with them. But that doesn't have to be you. You can control what you think, what you feel, and how you will respond and react to certain situations. No, you can't control anyone else. You can influence people, but you can't control them. People will be people. And so, 5 things that make you angry. So, you want to make a list of 5 things that make you angry. What stresses you out? Trigger events, characteristics, cognitive appraisal. So, you're the one who decides how you will handle situations. Emotions are a part of our makeup. So, it's about personal growth and life management. You want to have fun, you want to deal with the impossible, you want to have coping skills. What do coping skills look like for you? Is it reading a book? Is it writing? Is it praying? Is it reading the Bible? Is it talking to someone? Is it listening to music? Is it knitting? Is it going out for a walk in the yard? Or if you don't have a yard, going out for a walk when you go to the store, or walking in your house, or doing a 30-minute exercise, biting your tongue so when other people have something negative to say, and you can either be on the attack or be on the defense mode and think they're talking about you or degrading you, or just letting it go and be like, that doesn't apply to me because I know who I am. I know who I am in Christ, and that's not going to faze me. Bye. So, accountability and justice. Especially when you're mad about something, it's because you feel like there's injustice, like, there's something that needs to be stood up for. Yeah. And some people don't stand up because they don't want any arguments, or they don't want. And other people are on the other side of the fence where they are quick to just go, 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 go. Like with anything, just lash out, lash out, lash out. So you just need to be positive. And if you say to yourself, well, I don't know how to be positive, or I don't know what to do next, just make that happen. Say a positive thing about yourself. Write it down if you have to. Look in the mirror and talk to God. Look at yourself and say, I love myself. And then you want to think about control. You want to think about your needs. Challenge, control, and commitment. Characteristics that go along with resiliency. Acronym to think. Okay? T. Is it true? H. Is it honest? I. Is it helpful? N. Is it kind? K, is it necessary? I think I meant think, is it true? H, is it honest? I, is it helpful? N, is it necessary? And K, is it kind? Laughter produces chemicals in our body that enhances our recovery. So laugh. Some people might think, oh, you're weird, or you are this and that, but let me tell you this. A fruit of the Holy Spirit is joy. So don't let anyone try to take your joy or think you're childish or anything like that, because that's a fruit of the Holy Spirit. And would you rather be negative and grumpy and complaining and murmuring about everything? No. You would rather want to be filled with laughter and joy and peace. And if someone has a problem with it, that's because they have a hard time with being happy about themselves. And so when someone else is happy, they can have a hard time accepting that. So that's why it's important to get into the Word. It's important to pray, not just for yourself, but for others. And it's important to be involved in a church that you feel is going to help you in your spiritual walk and that you can have fellowship with and talk to others. Creative. When others feel creative, they're in a good mood. They can be creative at night, in the morning. They can be relaxed. They can do something from scratch. It's personal. They have room. They're by themselves, or they could be in therapy. So painting, drawing, baking, cooking, coloring, building, sewing, singing, a playlist, tanning. What keeps people from being creative? Distractions, negativity, business, loud noises, interruptions, and people. So when we see a crisis or a problem, we can use it as an opportunity. We want to be committed, and when we face a challenge, we won't have to run away. Resilient people know what about they can control. Know what they can control and can't. Creative commitment, control, challenge. Why? It increases our self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. You have more energy, you have a higher quality of life, you have fewer feelings of sadness and depression, better overall physical health, greater sense of meaning and purpose for life, and greater sense of direction, less absences. So people who are resilient to change as a stimulus for creativity. They're able to turn stressful situations and solutions into opportunities. Creativity can expand your awareness and open doors to new points of view. Resilient people are able to generate many points of view and new patterns, identify undetected relationships between ideas or events, and find unusual combinations for familiar elements. Under what type of circumstances do you find your creative self-awakening? For me, it's inspired by God, inspired by others, inspired by talented professionals. What talents do you naturally have? Acting, dancing, writing, singing. La 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 la. 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 Ah, 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 ah. So, lives in a taste of singing. Acting. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that actually happened. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And guess what? I'm going out to dinner. I'm going to have fun with my friend. And we're going to a live concert. And I'm going to see Jessie. Oh my gosh, she is amazing. And she actually has an agent. And she actually has a butler. And she actually has 3 sets of kids that she is a nanny for. And she watches over them and protects them and loves them. I can't wait to see her. And she also is going to get an addition from the manager as well. There you go. That's acting. when And where do you want to create? All the time. I like to do it at church, with friends, on the computer, or participation with a group that's aimed towards recovery. What activates your creative energies? I say morning after dreaming, relaxing after watching music, or after watching a movie. What drains your creative energy? Anxiousness, worry, it could be controlling what's not yours. So as you know now what resilient means, creativity, why creativity is good for you, how to recover, how to bounce back, what talents you have, to-do lists, make goals, control what's not ours, but control what is, knowing what is and what is not in our control. So there you have it. I really wish you the best in your recovery, in whatever it is, even if you feel that some things can be silent in the silent stage, and it can be something that you're struggling with and no one knows about, and or dealing with and no one knows about. And it doesn't have to be a physical thing with a person. It could be something that's in your mind or something that happens spiritually to you, you know, and you're still learning how to recover from that. Not just deal with it, but recover from it. So that's important. So I wish you the best and thank you for watching and stay tuned for more. This is Shante and I'm so grateful to be able to have people that I can share this information with. So enjoy your day, never give up on your dreams, and keep going and moving forward. Stay positive.